to learn something. So we're going to start with grays, and this is like more of like a cobalt blue. I thought I would start with a different palette today so that we can both try something different. This, I'm not sure what they call it, somewhat of a lemon yellow. I'm going to make a couple of piles of that lemon yellow. Maybe make 3. Well, I think we'll use lemon yellow in every color. How's that? So we're going to use a lemon yellow. I don't want these shapes to be stuck on my painting. I think that would be a little bit weird to have like a line of blobs of paint. So I'm going to go maybe smudge them together. So if you take this blue and the yellow together, you're going to make a green. See, it's sort of a light green. It's like a lime green. It would be great for painting limes. And then if you want it to be gray, you just add a little bit of that medium. And some red and white. So red and green and a little bit of white makes a nice gray. More on the tan side, if you ask me. See, it's sort of tan. I mean, I could probably work on it for a while, but we're going to move on. I just want to make sure it's nice and smooth so it doesn't scar my painting. Not that it wouldn't. I'm pretty thick. I used to do impasto painting. I liked plaster painting. So in the next one, we're going to try a different blue now. We're going to go with a ultramarine blue. And this time we're going to say ultramarine blue and some orange. So does anybody know how to make orange? Yes, of course you all know how to make orange. It's red and yellow makes orange. So we're going to make some orange. And I'm going to try a different blue this time. I want to add a little bit of that medium so it doesn't get too stuck. These colors dry really fast. I'm using heavy, they call it heavy or professional acrylic paint. It's very fast drying as well. I'm not used to this. Well, it's been a long time. So this gray here, we used a blue and an orange, and somehow I see a green. See the green? So that means we need some white. And we might need a little bit more red. But that's coming out nice. That's a nice gray. We'll call that like an army gray. I don't know, maybe take some of this other color later. So that's an orange and a blue. Let's try a different combination now. Let's look for a black. I hardly ever use black. You know what I have that's really nice? Let's try a purple. I'm going to do purple and yellow. This is a dark purple. It's called dioxine purple or violet purple and yellow. Let's see what kind of gray we get out of that. Get some white for these two. And some more of that agent. Some of this, and we'll put that there. So I don't know if you've noticed, but pretty much all of our colors are the same. We're going down the gray scale, they call it. And we'll need some white. Let's put some white in here. I'm going to make this really light. It's a greenish gray, we said, right? A greenish gray. And then we're going to get some more white. And we're going to make this orange and blue gray. We're going to make it a gray. So I hope the gray that's underneath doesn't do anything to distract your eye here. But now we're going down to this brownish. I think it's sort of brownish. It's a yellow and a purple. And some white. Let's bring the white in. See the purple? Wanted you to see the purple. Make sure that doesn't dry in a square. Okay, so there's the purple. So purple makes a really nice gray. So we'll take some of that purple. Make a lighter purple down here. That way you can see it. Isn't it a nice light purple? And a little bit of yellow. You don't need a lot of paint. People think you need a whole lot of paint. You really don't. I mean, I'll wipe off my brush a few times there. And just need a little bit. So that's a nice, another gray. We could make it a little bit darker or lighter. But we're going to stay with the lights right now so you can see that. So, we have a black. Let's get a black. This is called Mars Black. I can't really see the difference, but in color testing, you really can. This would be similar to color testing. If we had a piece of paper here, we could color test. So we have a purple up there and some blues. Now we're going to go with black. And I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Now I'm going to pick up some yellow. And some of that medium, gloss medium. And as you can see, it's made a really dark green. Let's move it around so it doesn't make spots on the canvas. Okay, I picked up a little bit of everything. Let's mix it up. Mix it right here. Some white. I picked up some white so we can go right to the gray because I can't hold on the line all day today, but I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and I'm going to get back to painting. I'd like to get this done so we can go on to the next project. I hope today I've taught you something or at least gave you some advice, maybe inspired you to take out your paints. Not thinking this is gray enough, but this is definitely army green. Put some more white in it. Okay, so if we were to pull out like a paint swatch at the hardware store or where you buy paint at your local store, you could go online, I'm sure now, and find the same swatches, but they would be similar to these colors. This would be like the gray version of these colors. So just to recap quickly, I used something like a cobalt blue, and I used yellow, and I made a green, and then I made a orange and cobalt in here, and I used a purple in here, and I used a black in here. And I could keep adding white, or I could even darken. Say I wanted this to be a little bit darker. I could take some more of the black and mix it in. I would probably need more of that mixing medium because I'm not really using water with them. Sometimes I do, and this makes it beautiful. I call this Cape Cod gray. I wish sometimes that I had my own colors because I come up with some of the strangest things. That's not. it's typical for a cottage on the Cape to have shutters and shingles because they're cottages and they're only used part of the year. So they have weathered shingles and weathered shutters, or sometimes they put boards up now, but it depends on what color. I have a nice blue one. This is a blue gray. We could go on all day with my grays because I love making colors. Let's do 2 piles of blue. Now let's do 3. So we'll make 3 blue grays. This is what I would say is a standard blue that comes in a Liquid X student size set. Not saying any brand is better than another, so we're going to say it's an ultramarine blue, I guess. And then I'm going to make sure it stays wet. I'll put some of this dryer in it, a little bit in each one. And probably grab a bigger brush. It'll be easier for all of us. Okay, so now I have some white. I'm going to do a little bit of white on top, a little bit more white on the middle, and a lot of white on the bottom. And I have 3 different shades of blue. I do eventually. If I don't, I can just add a little bit more of the blue. Nothing's written in stone, or make sure that it's smooth and I don't have any scarring on my canvas. I worked on my canvas forever. I used gesso, and I've got some areas that I made it thicker than others. It's just normal. So I have 3 blues now. The top one is a dark one. The middle one is a little bit lighter, and the bottom one is really lighter. And then I have all this extra blue. So let's just move all this around and stir it up. Stir it up. Sometimes I refer to the colors as food, but there's no food this color. Not in my plate. Okay, so we have a stronger blue, a medium blue, lighter blue, and a leftover blue. And we're going to put some medium in it. When I pick up the medium, I'm going to put very little of the gray on my brush, so you won't even notice it. So now on the top one, I pick up some red and yellow. Red and yellow and some dark blue. Sorry about that. And we have a nice color green. It almost looks like the concrete here. I'm going to have to come up with some concrete color, and I know it's going to be this color. So I'll move this around a little bit because I could use it. I mean, you don't need this anymore, so we'll just go over it. But the next one, I'm going to use some yellow, some red, and some more white for the medium gray. I might need some more yellow. I'm feeling some more yellow. This is a nice color too. So in this here, I want this to be darker and back here to be lighter. But the light is coming in through the garage windows. So the light is really more like, I want to say there's some triangular shapes going on here. So this will be the lighter color. Gray. As you see, it's my Cape Cod gray. I also have a hydrangea blue, but that's a Cape Cod thing. I'm sure it's a thing in other places too. So we can put a lot of shadows in these colors. You know, that's really too colorful over there. But with a little bit of that gel medium, I can wake it up a little bit. You can sometimes wake up your paint for just a little bit, so we'll wake it up and move it around, bring it right up to that shadow line. and maybe I can correct the shadow line. I do that. I keep going over and over things if I can with some extra paint or whatever. So in here, it was probably a little bit lighter because the garage window there. This is triangular. And then in here, let's see what color gray. Oh, I'm going to do this tannish gray thing here for the shadow down in here. We'll do that over this way. So I'm going to start with some yellow, some red, and some blue. We were using that cobalt blue. I don't know if you can see all the colors now because I just smushed them all together, but something like that. We'll smush it all together. So I'm starting with almost the same colors over there, but this is more teal. There was a lot more light over in here. As you can see, I'm probably going to exaggerate it a little bit. That's one of the things I do when I'm painting. It's very bright, so now we need to get some gel and some red. Put some red down in here. This is our darker area on the outskirts. And darker just means more red and more blue. So I didn't know how threatening that red would be. Red is a tough color. It's in a lot of grays because of the base color. I don't know if you noticed, we started with a base color and then we added to it. So that usually is a hard color. Red stains really well. I don't know if stains are done well, but it stains really well. See, this is a red and some yellow. It's very dominant. It even is trying to pop through the yellow, which I told you was like a lemon yellow. So we're going to make it darker down in this area. We're going to use the cobalt blue, though. And some more white, maybe. And get that white up in here. This is that shadow I'm going to do. That's from the light coming through the windows. So it's warmer. This is more of a warmer, and that's a cooler. So cooler further away from me. This would be like really cool. There's a light in here too, underneath the truck. So we'll put that in there. But it's cooler, so when I get a chance to pick up some whites, I'll go over there. We're going to smooth this out again. And maybe bring it to the edge of the shadow. Can you hear the brush scratching? If a brush is scratching, it either needs more water or a medium that you're using. This is the medium clearly. And then I can lightly hit the edges of my shadow and rub it into the paint and bring it back. I want to make sure that I'm not using too much medium and not enough paint. And then I'm going to smooth out my edges here. Like I said, if this is bothersome, turn down your volume because it's one of the things that I have to do. I'm fluffing my edges, making sure that there are no hard lines. There's enough hard lines on this truck to, I don't know, spear a fish. Ice fishing's coming up soon. I'm sure this fire department gets busy. They have to go measure the ice before anybody can go on it. I'm not sure who in this town does it, but in my town, it's the fire department. So I have a few minutes I can work with this paint. It's a difference in the professional grade. You can feel the difference. It's more sticky-like. So this is a 2-inch frame. with a stretched canvas over it. It has large canvas ducks, and it's 2 inches thick, you know, from here to here. It's 1.3 inches or something. I don't know. I'd have to look that up and get back to you on that. But it's about 2 inches. Let's just call it 2 inches. And I don't know about getting this framed or not. I could always paint the edges any color I wanted to. And then I could have it framed. I could do the frame where the frame just sits slightly on the edges, and it has like a board that goes around the back of the, that would be kind of nice with a little lip, because I don't want to take too much off of this. This truck was so big. It's a 75-foot ladder, hydraulic ladder system that other towns use because of its seniority. It's sort of special. It goes up really fast. They can get this little truck into places that other ladder trucks can't get into. So it has its advantages. They share it with other towns. They respond to other towns if needed. So it's kind of interesting. It's a lot I can talk about, but I'm not going to do it now. This is just a little bit of tips and tricks on grays. And I wanted you to see that just because this is a greenish teal color, a greenish or a teal color, and this is sort of like a slate blue color, and this is more of, let's say, a coral blue color. They're all grays. Sorry, I forgot over here we have some purple and some green and some tan, and they're all in the gray family. There's a gray up here, a different gray. So we have to come up with so many grays for the back of this truck. I thought that I would come up with some grays, and maybe I would talk about it. In here we have diamond. I was joking about this to the firefighter, but it's not a joke. I mean, it's a diamond dent, I think they call it, diamond dent pattern on the stairs. This is a box. This is the stairs, the bumper. This is just a protective piece for the tire, and then there is actual bumper.